Renewable energy, for some, a way of the future. For others, a danger to coal jobs and livelihoods. It's against that background that NUMSA and others ran to court last night.
If this is allowed to kick in, we'll have a situation where we can lose about close to 40,000 jobs in Mpumalanga. Already we have lost, because of government terrible policies, we lost Evra's Highveld Steel. And as we speak, Emalahleni is like a ghost town. And if these power stations are allowed to close, about 40,000 jobs will be wiped out in Mpumalanga.
The matter has been set down for a hearing in the next 2 weeks, but that has not stopped NUMSA and its backers from celebrating.
We had a victory last night with collusion of the bosses and the coal transporters that stood together with us to say no to this. The next step will be to basically get to court to go and argue, because we're just given an interim relief for the minister not to basically do a right-wing thing of just signing without consulting all social partners that will be negatively affected by this.
Reaction Energy Minister Jeff Radebe was quick to point out that NUMSA has not been granted an interdict. The matter was simply postponed for a hearing later this month. Mbongeni Muchwa, SABC News, Johannesburg.
All right, so some were opposing this, some were excited about government's decision to sign up these 27 independent producers, but that is on hold. To discuss, we're now joined by the CEO of GAIA Infrastructure Capital Limited, Prudence Lebina. And GAIA is saying that government's commitment is really required and it will lead to huge investor confidence. So you believe that this signing, when it goes ahead, if it goes ahead, is all good news?
Yes, absolutely. Renewable energy is key to diversifying South Africa's energy mix. And as GAIA, we support the signing of those agreements because this provides much needed policy certainty that's key to attracting private sector investment.
And the idea is that we're not reliant only on Eskom. I mean, look at the state of Eskom. You allowed all these small providers to come in. They can't face a massive collapse, and they add to the power grid.
Yes, hence the diversity that's required in the energy mix. And I mean, renewable energy, as we've seen, facilitates job creation. It uplifts the rural communities because there's rural community participation in the program, and there's black economic empowerment as well. That's part of the equity shareholding.
First, paint the picture. We're going to look at the two farms that GAIA is invested in. First, paint the picture. We've heard of lengthy delays, people who were hoping to invest in something like a wind farm, wanting to put the money down, but government delayed. We didn't know what was going on. How hard has it been for those who wanted to be involved or want to be involved?
It is hard because investors want to invest where there is regulatory and policy certainty. And what we've seen thus far with the delays is that some investors have actually divested from South Africa because there's so much uncertainty, so they are moving on to other countries where there's much certainty and they can invest their funds.
So they came in with renewable energy and left, or were they trying to come in and then gave up? How's it actually been working? I've heard of people with farms just sitting there.
Waiting for the signing of those agreements. Yeah, correct. So it is key. I mean, we appreciate government's commitment to signing those agreements, which is key. I mean, what we do as GAIA, we facilitate the savings industry in South Africa to invest in those large-scale projects.
Are you very disappointed that the signing didn't go ahead?
I'm disappointed but hopeful. We're waiting for the 27th of March. As you would have seen, there was a statement by the Department of Energy where the minister was reiterating his commitment to signing those, just because of the benefits of the renewable energy program that we've seen thus far. I mean, with this one, they're talking about 56 billion investment with potential to create about 60,000 jobs. So, and that is much needed in South Africa at this time.
So is that the counteraction? Because you'll always get people involved in coal who say, we have jobs, we're going to lose our jobs. But you're saying the benefits here in terms of job creation far outweigh any losses that the country will face.
And I think what the coal mining industry needs to appreciate is that there is space in South Africa for the two to coexist. So it's not necessarily the case that there will be job losses until those coal-fired power stations come to end of life.
So you said 60,000
60,000, that was
over what time period?
I mean, it takes about 2 to 3 years to bring these projects on stream from construction. So it's the construction phase. There's various subsectors within those programs where there's involvement.
So GAIA is invested in the Dorper wind farm in the Eastern Cape and the Noblesfontein wind farm in the Northern Cape. So those are two investments already going. Explain what it's like. You say the community is involved. Tell me how these are operating and why you think it's beneficial.
I mean, we see the tangible difference these make to the environments, to the communities within which these assets are located, and the skills transfer from developers, from international developers. That's part of the requirement, that there should be skills transfer, there should be skills development, and you know, some of the jobs might be semi-permanent, but you know, there is potential for over time for South Africans to develop these assets themselves, hence the requirement for skills transfer.
And huge for investor confidence, generally.
Yes, and it greens the economy.
And global.
And it greens the economy, which is key. It's part of responsible investment.
Do we have enough wind? I've heard this debate. You know, we have a lot of sun.
Yes.
But how efficient are wind farms in South Africa right now?
I mean, the one we invested in, the Dorper wind farm, has been doing really well. It's performing, above expectation. South Africa is really a blessed country. I mean, we're blessed with coal, we're blessed with lots of sun, and we're blessed with the wind, which is key for renewable energy.
So final question, we're hearing that Eskom is having the opposite problem that it used to have. There used to be too much demand, too much pressure on the grid. Now there's too little demand. So how does that affect planning around renewable energy?
Infrastructure is key to economic development, so we have to get it right now for when the growth comes through. Hence the need for Eskom to be supportive and signing those PPAs.
All right, thank you so much for your time this evening. That was the CEO of GAIA Infrastructure Capital Limited, Prudence Lebina. And that's all we have time for. Thank you for being with us on Prime Biz. I'll be back with Bongani with your news headlines in a bit.